I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we discuss, dissect and destroy movies, especially guilty pleasures. Then we decide if it's truly spoilt milk or if it's ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, let's go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast.
It's a podcast. Where were you going with that?
I don't know.
Movie.
I never have to think about that. It just rolls off the tongue.
Not today.
Do you find yourself saying it in your sleep? Welcome to the Spoilt Milk Podcast.
Yeah, but not today. Today we're going to be talking about the Dark Crystal.
What?
That's what it's called, right?
Bristol?
The Dark Crystal.
What? Oh, is this from the subtitles? Did you have the ones from One Cut of the Dead still?
But is it the Dark Crystal?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
It's not just Dark Crystal.
The movie is The Dark Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the TV series retains the.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, then. But before we get into the film, we're going to be talking about, and I need to look at the wording of how you put this earlier. So it was films that are scary
That aren't supposed to be
that
scary.
aren't supposed to be scary.
Yeah.
Because I had a real tough time with this.
I know, you have been a right little bitch.
I don't think I've got an answer. I don't think I've got an answer yet.
Oh, okay.
I've got something I can say, but I don't think it's right. I don't think it's factually right.
But you got our example answer, which me and Katty both agreed on.
But
which
it
was
isn't.
Fern Gully.
Why?
So you were talking about films that are scary without being, it's unintentional. That part of Fern Gully is supposed to be scary.
No, that aren't supposed to be scary. So it's like a kid's film. It's not supposed to be scary.
Yeah.
No, but that in the film is supposed to be scary.
The bad guy's meant to be a
To
bad
be-
guy, but it's not meant to be that level of scary. The level of detail in that like gunk monster and the way it moves and the way it just sort of attacks everything is kind of more existential crazy.
The whole
scary.
purpose of that is to be scary in that film.
Not that
and
level.
it scares the
It's-
characters.
it's like,
and
you
it
don't
could scare you.
You don't find Scar that scary in The Lion King. Yeah, you're like, oh no, he's a bad guy, especially when you're a kid. But
No,
you
but
don't-
he's supposed to be like malevolent, not scary, I would say. Or like,
I wouldn't say. I think the level of the guy in Fern Gully is much scarier than.
I can't,
Should
is
have
his
been.
name Exodus or something?
I can't remember. When I was
Hexus.
thinking about
Hexus.
it,
It's
Yeah.
Hexus.
I was like, I really need to watch this film again.
I've got it on DVD.
but I don't think we can just class children's films as not being scary. Because I looked up loads today to try and get some like inspiration to find my own, and all the ones that came up. And I don't want to say them just in case you've got them, but I'm like, no, that's supposed to be scary.
Okay.
For example, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or whatever with the child catcher. That's supposed to be scary. That's not
I
something that's like
barely remember
unintentionally
that, so-
scary.
The most scary thing about the child catcher is his weird cock nose.
Yeah, but he's a scary character and he was designed to be
But-
scary, just like Hexus or whatever was
But
designed
the
to
level,
be
I
scary.
think it's
in that.
important to take into account the level of scary. Yes, it's meant to be scary, but not so scary that you'd never approach that
But
film
I
again.
thought if we were going to do films that are unintentionally scary, it should either be something that's not scary to anyone else, but taps into something for you.
Something deep rooted.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I can't think of anything.
Look, I don't know if that exists
So-
because you might always say, and I think one of the more ones that maybe falls in line with what you're saying, you could still make the argument that it was meant to be scary.
Well, no, for example,
Mm,
because I could only think of a TV show, which was Fraggle Rock.
okay.
And
Okay.
at the beginning of Fraggle Rock, there's a bit where it starts outside and it like the camera like goes through the person's house
Mm.
and then goes through a hole in the wall, in the floor or whatever, down to where the Fraggles live. And when I was a kid, I was scared of it, and I don't know why. And I watched it today, and I was like, it's not scary at all, but there was something about it going through the house and then under the floorboards, even though it was showing this nice, lovely place where the Fraggles lived, scared the hell out of me. And I was like, that was definitely not. They weren't like, oh, we'll go through the floorboards and it'll really scare people or it'll be creepy. It was just me as a little weirdo. I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And it scared me. And that's what I thought we were going to go for. So if you were like, I've got a real thing about fingernails and there's a bit in a film where someone plays with their fingernails and it really scares me or whatever, I thought that's what we were going for. If we were just going for scary things in kids' films, then yeah, I can.
If it was that, then mine would be anytime someone in a film like scrubs anything on the carpet with a dry cloth. That gives me shivers on my spine. I can't think of a film that does it.
But is that something that makes you a bit like, oh, or does it actually scare you? Because this is where I was like, it would be interesting to know what little things in films that aren't scary at all give you the real, like, heebie-jeebies.
I can't think of one from a film off the top of my head, but from a TV show, Goosebumps, that fucking sponge that lived under a sink.
I never watched it.
Oh, they were like this weird sponge that lived under a sink and it were evil and it opened its little mouth. And like these teeth.
An evil sponge?
Yeah.
Isn't that then supposed to scare people in a horror program for kids?
It's a fucking sponge.
Yeah, but if it's designed to be evil and scary...
Yeah, but like...
That's intentionally scary.
Being like a preteen and being scared by a fucking sponge.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
But still, I was like, I'm not on board with it and was like, maybe we need to reword the question so it's scary things that shouldn't scare an adult or scary things in kids' films. So I've got examples of those. I wanted more to know what were the weird things that scared you that wouldn't scare anyone. But I don't have any examples of that.
Well,
apart from Friday.
Okay, so I'll give you one of my examples, but I think after this, I'm going to list through the other ones I had and see if you agree with them, through your rigorous method. But mine was, I think I'll go with Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No, that don't class.
It does.
No,
Christopher Lloyd's
fully
character,
meant to be scary.
like the bit where he's melting.
Yeah. That is fully meant to be scary. That isn't unintentional. They weren't like, we'll put out nice, cuddly Christopher Back to the Future Lloyd. And then people are like, this is a real shock.
No, but
this is scary.
meant to be a bit where the heroes are like victorious, like, oh, we've defeated him. But it's just so drawn out and unnecessarily like painful looking for that as a kid to witness.
But that is scary. Like, and I was scared by it. And by the sounds of it, Katty was scared by it as well.
It makes me...
Yeah.
Horrible, that is fully horror.
No, that's not a horror.
No, it is.
No,
don't they roll him over with a thing and then doesn't he like melt and all his eyes pop out and he gets like evil red eyes?
Yeah.
That's fully, that's fully horror, like for a kid's film, but...
Let's hear Katty's.
All right.
Just fuck me over.
So, I'm going to go for the whole film of... Is it Fantasia, the one when fucking Mickey Mouse and the shit that just comes alive? It is horrible. Creep me the fuck out.
That's a good one. I can't remember much about it apart from the dancing.
The
mops.
one, the one that with the brooms that got me, and they grew little legs. And
I mean, there is a very horror bit where he's chopping them up and they just show the shadow of him being like chopping up. That's very much inspired by, I don't know, Hitchcock or someone like that.
The whole of it. All of it.
It's all really messed up, but I thought you'd make the argument there saying, oh, well, it's meant to be one of those tales of morality. And
that's one of those, because I was thinking about when I was looking online, I saw Dumbo and I was like, oh, yeah, that might class, because that's supposed to be more psychedelic and trippy, like Fantasia, but just so happened that it scared Katty as a kid, whereas it didn't for me.
It freaked me out.
I don't think they were like, let's make this scary that scares Mickey and scares people watching it. It just so happened to be creepy.
No, it's horrible.
So I think that's a really good choice.
This is bullshit. This game is always rigged against me.
No, because I don't have one. I ain't got a fucking clue.
Okay.
I'm ruining our own top 3.
Next top of my... was going to be The Big Short.
Oh, right.
Which is the one about the financial crisis based around the housing market. And it's more, I mean, the whole thing is like, what the fuck's going on? But that last line at the end where it just says, because after the big collapse, regulations came in and they stopped it. And then it's just got this last line saying, they are now selling this mortgage and it's exactly the same thing that happened before. And it's just like there's a feeling of dread that just came over me.
I think that's a good chat.
Damn it.
I mean,
that one.
But like, I don't have the right answer. These were just my arguments this afternoon when I was trying to think of...
You could make the argument that, again, that was... When they were writing it, they were designing saying, we're not just making this as a pop conflict. We want to educate people and scare people a little bit.
Well, is it that one or Margin Call where they modelled it on a disaster movie?
Oh, I don't know. I think you've told me about Margin Call before, so I'm going to guess it's that one.
Maybe.
I haven't watched it yet, no. Okay, I'll quickly go through the other ones then. I had Spider-Man 2 just for that chainsaw scene. And that's because I went to show it to my 4-year-old nephew, thinking, oh, it's a Spider-Man film, it's great. Chainsaw scene came on. He flipped the fuck out and did not want to watch it.
Do you mean...
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And he has this Evil Dead style horror bit.
But that's very much a horror bit as well.
Okay. Land Before Time, the fucking T-Rex.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a good one,
That's very fucking scary. That scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Muppets Treasure Island.
I've never seen Muppets Treasure Island.
I have, but I can't remember which. It's been a long time.
Oh, right at the beginning where that blind guy gives Billy Connolly the black spot.
Oh. I wondered when I was watching like Doctor Who recently, and they had an episode, I say recently, it was about a year or so ago, and they had an episode about the black spot. I was like, why do I know about the black spot?
Means that you're going to die.
Yeah. I forgot about, I need to watch Muppets Treasure Island again.
What else is there?
Some of the things that creeped me out when I was younger, but I was like, I think in the films, it's intentionally there to creep you out. Like the witches, like I saw that come up, but it wasn't the witches. It was the story at the beginning about the little girl who gets put in the painting. I really didn't like that as a kid. I didn't like the idea that she still lived, but was in that painting. And that really creeped me out and scared me. But it's supposed to. It's a witch's story.
That was on my list, witches. Because it's still a kid's story.
Yeah, but then were we going for kids' films that scare you or films that are unintentionally scary? And that was intentionally scary.
No, I think it was going for any, but generally, if it's a kid's film and it's got a really, like, fucked up scene in it, it stands out more than just a normal film.
Watership Down.
Yeah, like that's meant to be scary.
I mean, the whole film's not supposed to be scary.
No, but the scary bits are.
Watching that, though, like, even as an adult, there's so much peril.
Yeah, there is.
Final one I had was American History X.
No, I don't agree with that one.
What do you mean, fear of Nazis?
Well, fear of how, the Nazis and, like, how easily, like, that kid was turned. Fear of just someone walking into a school and shooting you. I know it's in America, but when I first watched that...
And you won't go for, like, Bowling for Columbine, that's, like, a real documentary about that.
Oh, what's the one? Elephant, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Elephant, but I suppose Elephant is meant to be scary. But yeah, no, I thought that had loads of scary bits.
But you knew what you were signing up with that one, though.
I mean, I didn't when I first watched it.
It's about Nazis.
Oh, Ed Norton. I like Ed Norton. I don't like it. Well, I do, towards the end.
I mean, I like Ed Norton in his pants.
He's fucking ripped in that film.
Yeah.
It's weird seeing such a buff Ed Norton, especially because he's never gone back to it.
God, everyone who's listening to this who's never met me, that's how I liken my body. Sometimes I just run down the street in my boxers and people go, that's Ed Norton.
Drew is just curb stomped.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, on that note, then we'll call it for our top threes. I'm just going to say Dumbo. Fuck it. What did you go for in the end?
Well, Big Short. Big Shot. Seeing as you agreed with that one, I guess I'll bow down.
And Katty.
Fantasia.
We'll be back to talk about Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal.
What are you doing?
Taking your pod. No, you're not. You will not be taking our pod today, sir.
Right, I'm going for it.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to part one of the Spoilt Milk movie podcast, where today we're talking about Dark Crystal. Katty, what's Dark Crystal about?
A crystal. That is purple. It's not so much dark.
Yeah, it's not very dark.
It's purple.
What does the darkness of the crystal...
I think it's because it's a bit evil.
Isn't it like clear? Not to jump right to the end, but doesn't it go clear when they...
No.
I thought it did right at the end where they put the thing in and white beams come out of it and it goes like clear.
The shard's clear.
No, but then when he puts it in, the whole crystal turns clear and shoots out white light.
And it doesn't stay like... I mean, if we want to go.
Isn't that how the first episode of the thingy starts, where it's a clear crystal and it goes purple?
No, it's just purple.
Mm. No, I thought that was the whole thing. At the end, when he put it in, it went clear and it was white light and everything was nice. That's proper right to the end. I've only ever seen this film once.
People at us on social media, who is right, Katty or Cham? What colour is the crystal?
It's purple.
Yeah, it is purple. I've only ever seen this film once, and it was for the first time ever last night, so I will definitely be wrong.
I can't remember, and I just watched it today.
I mean, I've just watched it before I left.
We're good.
So it's about a crystal.
Yep.
Anything else?
So there is some weird, like, vulture kind of looking guys called Skeksis, and they're evil, and they are draining the essence. It sounds so fucking perverse.
Let me drain your essence. Oh, makes me young again.
Yeah, they're draining the essence from any kind of little humanoid creature that they can to drink and be young again.
And then, because it kind of starts with them, doesn't it? For the first, what feels like about quarter of an hour?
Skeksis.
Yeah. I always thought they were called Skeksis. Like, one would be a Skeksi, but they kept saying Skeksis. And I was like, so is it Skeksis?
Yeah, it's Skeksis.
So would they be like, one would be a Skeksis?
Or maybe it's like no, what's the word where there isn't a plural?
Sheep.
Sheep
And then
sheep.
like, is it
not
something
sheep?
like octopus where the plural isn't? Yeah, it's octopus. The plural isn't octopi. It's just octopus.
What's wrong?
Sorry, the singular.
And the same with sheep.
Yeah.
One sheep, multiple sheep.
Yeah. You just shot my head.
No, but I meant because it's like ends in S and it confuses someone more.
Oh, yeah.
Like Homer always struggles saying the plural of Flanders. Like the Flanders is.
Oh, so are they the Flandai?
Yes, they are the Flandai.
So then we get the Skeksis. They are, I can't say it. They kind of look after the crystal.
They're supposed to be the keepers of the crystal. They're supposed to guard it, but they've just fucked it up.
Little cunts. They look fucking banging. Like,
They are great.
Sexy.
no, but like,
Skeksis.
Oh, they are buff.
because I've seen the first episode of the TV show, and I was like, oh, this looks a little bit ropey. I mean, it looks amazing, but I was like, oh, it looks a bit funny. And I expected to watch this and be like, oh, this really looks shit. It looked fucking ace. Like, they were, like, properly good.
The puppet work in this film is just unmatched.
It's insane. To say it again before Labyrinth as well.
Well,
Is it?
I think this is noted as the first live action film that didn't feature any people in it, any humans.
Really?
It's all puppets.
Oh,
I think the beings at the end are a bit ropey. They're kind of just like guys in masks.
Yeah.
But
But they're not human characters. Because there was
no
points
human
where, like,
characters, sorry.
Jen was definitely a dude running around with, like, a mask on, like, conveniently in the dark and stuff like that. Are you just thinking if there's a human in it?
yeah.
I mean,
But I've watched some of the series as well today, so I don't know if I'm just getting a bit confused about.
the internet tells me it is not got any humans
The internet
in it.
also told me I was dead once when I Googled my symptoms. Oh, and I was also in anaphylactic shock.
Oh, no pulse.
What symptoms? Was it while he was watching Dark Crystal?
No.
Like, what are these symptoms? I'm feeling fear, cold sweats, hungry for birds. No?
What?
Did the Skeksis not make you think of chicken?
If that's the kind of chicken that you eat, then fucking hell.
Gristly. I like it gristly.
Right,
They're really creepy. They look greasy.
Yeah.
Like if you touched it, your hand would be a
But
bit
they somehow look greasy and dry at the same time.
like a snake.
Yeah. You know, like when something is greasy, but it goes moldy and like the mold is kind of like powdery and green, like a bit like that. And then you've thrown some hair on it.
It was even worse when they stripped that one dude and he was just all like bony and
Oh,
spikes.
Chamberlain.
I ate his weird like.
And how frequently he does it as well. It's all the time. So we get them, and is it right at the beginning where we learn about the prophecy? Or are they just talking about...
No, at the start it says, you know, this Crystal's been around for so long. The Skeksis exist, and the what are they called? The wise guys,
the Mystics.
Mystics, that's it. Yeah,
I write likes them.
Oh, they're good, aren't they?
What the fuck are they?
They look like Station from Bill and Ted 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I realised watching this, like, how much of a boner I've got for, like, in the past, there were these, like openings to films where they just rattle off some, like, exposition about what happened in the past. It just gets me every time. And I'm like, I'm in, like Monster Squad.
Really? Rather than actually show you, like, think of, you may disagree on the film, but the opening of Man of Steel, where you actually see the brief battle of what happened to...
No,
is that the new Superman?
Yeah.
Fucking hated that film.
Yeah.
Well, but the whole battle on...
He can fucking suck a dick.
Krypton.
I'm glad his planet got blew up.
Oh, well, fine. You guys stick with your scrolling text.
Yeah, I love a scrolling text and somebody narrating, especially if it's about like something that's happened in the past and it's someone with a really good voice.
I like cave paintings and like hieroglyphs and stuff as well, like carvings with a backstory.
Does Brave start out like that?
Oh, I love
I think
Brave.
so.
I remember cave paintings Brave. I don't know if it starts out like that.
A double bill the other night when my wife was away of The Village, followed by Lady in the Water, and M. Night Shyamalan double bill, real treat. And Lady in the Water starts with like cave paintings. That film's shit. That film is really shit.
I've not seen it.
I was like, I'm looking forward to watching this, but no. So then we cut to Jen.
Oh, Jen, the androgynous,
flute
personality flute
Whoa.
player.
A little Gelfling.
Little Gelfling.
He's the last one. Who's he supposed to base his personality on?
I mean, he thinks it's the last one.
If he was the last one, how has he not gone mad? How is he so...
Because he were hanging out with Mystics.
He's just dull. He's just got nothing
Well,
about
when you're
him.
hanging around with like massive, old, weathered dinosaur long-faced guys.
Who just go,
I tried to recreate that in my notes as just a series of I didn't do it any justice. I did think the master mystic,
the wisest of all the mystics.
he should have just been put down at least 10 years earlier. He was so old and dying. Why did they leave it that long?
Was this before Empire Strikes Back or after?
After Empire.
It did feel a bit Yoda when he disappeared. And like his little quilt went down or whatever. Quilt.
Later on when we get to Aughra,
yeah.
that was entirely Yoda.
So
Empire was 80s and this is 82. 80 and this is 82.
Oh, right. Okay, then. So there's a bit of mirroring going on right from the beginning, isn't there, with the old Emperor. And the old Emperor dies, doesn't it? And then this old mystic dies at the same time. And we start to see that there's a bit of a crossover or something.
They're linked.
Well, aren't they saying in the exposition at the beginning that when the crystal arrived, did they both turn up or something?
Yeah.
Or have I seen that on something else?
They weren't. They say they both turned up around the same time.
Yeah. Turned up for a party.
I don't want to spoil it though.
Right, okay then.
Yeah.
So then Jen sets off on his mission when his old mate dies, and pretty much straight away he goes and meets Oprah.
Oprah with a fucking horns and a weird finger.
She and her fucking big nips. Did you notice?
No.
Did you not? We watched a proper high definition version last night, me and the missus, and she was like, look at her nipples. And I was like, oh my God. And they were proper big old choggers, sticking out.
Are you kidding me?
No. Why are you going to watch it after this?
I'm going to try and bring up an image now of...
Like udders? Like a nips and udder?
No, she had big old round titties.
Big old puppy titties.
With two big chogger nips sticking out of the front. And I was like, I didn't know where to look. That was a Scary Kids film. Seeing Oprah's nips.
Kid, what if you just end up being aroused by this and then had a weird attraction to
Oh, God. She was fucking horrible. There's sometimes in films where characters, I'm just like, I can't wait for
Have you found a picture of her nips?
She's got a nip on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a bit wonky as well. One's an upper, one's a downer.
Like her eyes.
Let's not nip shame on this podcast. Everyone can have a nipple pointing in different directions.
We'd be looking at facial hair first with more than her nips. At least they're fairly healthy. They've got blood going to them.
There's not many, though, considering there's a lot of pictures of it. Oh, wait, here's another one.
Have you just Googled Aughra nipples?
No, I just put Aughra Dark Crystal, so not even nipples. They're pretty pointy. But I don't think it's any different to just like an actress in like an 80s movie who just never wore a bra.
Yeah, true. But it was just weird that when they'll have made the puppet, they'll have made nipples. Whereas Jen didn't have nipples. Like, they didn't make nipples for him.
Jen was meant to be more androgynous than an actual...
He's a boy.
No,
girls have wings.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. They're
Really?
they're very like pointed towards the fact that he's a boy. She says, you're a boy. You don't have wings.
Well, it's a very hippie boy. He's not meant to have any masculine features, is he?
Oh, soz, mate. Fucking fashion, please, here.
It's
2019, he can be whatever he wants to be.
He didn't even speak like a guy. I know he was voiced by
Are you
Jim
You're
Henson.
voice shaming him now.
You were nip... No, Cham was nip shaming.
I've not shamed anyone. Anyway.
So they're at Aughra.
Aughra.
And she's got that big old machine, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And then she whips out some shards because he has to find the shard, doesn't he, to plug into the big crystal.
To heal it.
And he finds it by playing his flute, doesn't he?
Because he learnt that from the Mystics. They all have a little sing.
Yeah.
A little and he's just like, you know what, I can't do that because I'm a tiny little gelfling, but what I can do is play my Y-shaped flute.
It's a good flute. He knocks out some bangers. And that one glows purple, doesn't it? So he knows that's the one for the dark crystal. And then those creepy-ass beetles turn up, don't they? And just
yeah,
trash
them
the
spider
place.
things.
I love them.
They were so good,
I
weren't
wrote
they?
down my name because I love them so much. They just came in and like fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I love like
That
the
was
first
the
one you
whole
see after they set it off. After the sexist set it off his way, he just breaks the window.
What sexist?
After the sexist.
He comes in, breaks the window, and just like claw smashes. It's clearly just a guy in a suit who just goes, Mwah!
There was a really ace bit where Jen just threw himself through a glass window. And it was so over the top.
Garfim.
Are they called Garfin?
That's what I've written down, so yeah.
They looked really good though, didn't
They were cool.
And they just fucked shit up, didn't they? So do you reckon they were people in suits, those?
When I looked it up.
So he's going back on what he's just said.
Why?
What?
He said that it was the only film where there weren't people.
Oh, I think he means in the cast.
Like, as in the film, there's no human characters. Like, normally a lot of like animated or like puppet films would still have a human in it.
Okay, yeah,
Like
I get
the
you now.
fucking Lion King.
These did have people in it, and the suits are so heavy. While they was filming, they had to build special rigs to lift them up, so they weren't on their feet all day between like takes and stuff. It was
just
really
dangled.
Cool. Yeah, just.
So they, at this point, they've completely fucked up Aughra's house. That's gone. He's got the shard.
He's fucked off.
And he's off on his mish.
Yeah.
That seems like a good place to leave it for part one.
Yeah.
We'll be back to talk about the rest of the film shortly.
Fuck the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Dark Crystal episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast.
It sounded so laboured.
It's because I'm like, I've got to get it out now because I fucked it up the first time.
It just sounded like you've done this.
No.
Welcome to part 2.
And halfway through I was questioning, do I say the Dark Crystal or this Dark Crystal?
Also, I would like to question...
the Dark Crystal?
Do you always call this part 2?
Yes.
Because it's technically part 3.
No, but it's top 3's part 1 and part 2, isn't it? Because it's part 2 of the discussion about the film.
Okay.
It's because that's how I label them.
Okay.
It's a good point.
Yeah. I've just never noticed it before until then. And
Oh, yeah. Right, okay, so those weird little bug guys have fucked up Aughra's house.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of disappears, doesn't she, for ages, and Jen goes off on his mish. Do you know one thing I wanted to talk about, and it kind of weirdly fell at this point, is how much I used to love and still love in these like Jim Henson films, the world building that they do in like just a little opening shot or a cutaway. I think after this bit, he was like on his way to the forest, and it just kind of panned through the forest and had like little things where like something swallowed something in the floor, and there was like plants that just shot things up, and it wasn't like there were no characters in. It was just
Critters.
showing you the world that this film set in. I was like, they'll have had to put so much effort in to make those. It's not like CGI. I mean, that's not exactly easy, but they'll have had to handcraft all those different little monsters just for a cutaway.
Yeah.
To be like, bang, it's going to eat something.
And the amount of times there might have been more of that might not have been used at all. Completely cut out. It's just, but it adds to it. Any good film, you'll notice that sets you into that world does something like that. Akira does that. I think Blade Runner does that. It will show you a lot of the landscape and maybe some people in the world before you get to a scene. And it's just, I really appreciate it.
It just reminds me of good kids shows, like from when I was like a baby.
Yeah, it's always a thing that a lot of people think, oh, kids show, it's nothing. But the good ones are probably better than a lot of adult shows. And I think one of the things Jim Henson, one of the reasons he wanted to do this, and it's a bit in his other stuff, is he thought that having a bit of a scary bit in making kids scared is kind of important to their emotional education. So that's why he made the monsters so fucking creepy in this. And there's so many weird messed up scenes that even now I thought was a bit, Well,
we did Storyteller as well. Did you ever used to watch Storyteller with John Hurt? You ever watch that one? I think it was like Henson and maybe...
What was that weird noise about?
You didn't watch it. I can't believe it. And he was like, he kind of had some prosthetics on his face, and he had like a dog that was a big Muppet, and every week he'd tell a new story, and it was really gothic. And there was like one about a Minotaur and one about like...
It rings a bell.
Yeah.
And it was really creepy.
But like a big, like hairy dog.
Yeah. And it'd just sit by him and be like, ugh? Every so often, or like a rat would run by and it'd be like, ugh? And like, look at it.
It rings. Is it Tim Allen?
But even like Muppet Christmas Carol, the bit where he goes to the door knocker and it's like, whoa, I'm doing lots of noises today. I don't know what. And the big kind of ghost of Christmas.
Fucking love
yet
him.
to come or whatever. Scary as fuck.
The big happy guy?
No, the one yet to come. He's Christmas past, isn't he? Come in and know me better, man.
The big like Hagrid looking
Yeah, the big
guy.
absent-minded ghost.
I fucking love him.
Yeah, he's ace, isn't he?
I feel like if I was a man, that's who I'd want to be.
Would you fuck him? Moving on.
10 out of 10 would bang that puppet.
He looks like Richie.
Yeah.
So, back to the film. He then meets another Gelfling, doesn't he?
Oh, fuck, what's her name now?
Yeah, I was
Kira.
just... Kira. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and she was riding one of them strider things.
Are they men in suits with, like...
I think so.
With stilts on their arms or whatever? Is that what she was riding?
I don't know.
She was riding one of them leggy bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Leggy bastard.
Who just got, like, killed for being, like, the nicest dudes ever. That poor little family turn up and there's, like, a mum and dad and a little one or whatever, and the parents are like, we'll give you a ride to this place, and then one gets thrown down a cliff and one just gets, like, shooed in. They just gang up and shoot its head in, don't they?
Fucking bricking it.
But yeah, he meets her in like a swamp, and they're both like, they do the mind sharing shit.
It's dream fasting.
Dream fasting.
That's it. And I was like, I'd stay away from her.
Yeah, with a creepy voice.
Why?
Straight away meet her, and she's always like, let's dream fast. That's
It reminded me.
It's not a gateway drug.
It reminded me of Demolition Man. You know, they're like the hunker junker, and he puts the helmet on.
After they dream fasted, they did sleep and then wake up laying in each other's arms. That was definitely them banging.
Yeah, did you think
it wasn't them banging?
I thought it was them banging.
And hand fasting is a way of like pre-marriage marriage, isn't it? So this was definitely like them having a quickie marriage and then fucking for the whole night. Yeah.
I thought that's what it was. I thought I insinuated.
It's a very hippie thing to do. This is a very hippie film.
And the way the hands like slowly moved away from each other and then finished.
One of the hands could have been really sweaty.
It was covered in jizz.
And Gelflings.
You seem horrified by this, Katty. Has this ruined it for you?
This is like one of my childhood films.
Watch it again. They got a quickie marriage and then they fucked all night.
No.
Yeah, because he fucked so hard that night that he woke up going, where the fuck am I? He was off his tits on something.
Yeah.
Why did he wake up going, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
You've been there for a decent... It wasn't just like you passed out.
Because he's had a day full of peril.
He's had a day full of fucking.
You saw those big old Chogger nicks earlier in the day and got a little flute boner. And then went and fucked who I thought it was going to be his sister. I was like, oh, they're the only two.
So you thought the fucked?
No, I was
and
like,
then you thought it were his sister.
No, it was that made me think, oh, maybe. Because I thought they were going to be the last two and you'd find out that they were like related or
fucking
whatever.
Star Wars.
And yeah. Well, talking of Star Wars, they had a right ace little kind of party scene that was really reminiscent of...
You mean with the
Star Wars?
Old age Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yeah.
I fucking love podlings.
Podlings.
Fucking love them.
Yeah. They just love to party, don't they?
They do.
And live in a little, like, crappy hut.
Yeah.
And just play a flute.
It's like me.
And guitars.
They were creepy. They looked like they should have died when they were young. Just
They've got Benjamin Button syndrome.
Yeah. Syndrome. But then...
Fucking love podlings. Because she was raised by podlings, weren't she?
yeah.
Like the Skeksis fucking burnt down a little village and a man chucked her under a tree to save her. And then podlings found her and raised her as her own.
The rest of them seem to have, a bit of fun, nice people. Is it just Gelflings that don't have any personality? She is exactly the same person as Jen.
No, she's not. She can fucking speak to animals. She's got Fizzgig.
She can fly.
But she doesn't have any personality. She's
because,
got abilities. She's got
because
skills.
people are nice doesn't mean that they don't have a personality.
No, but in this case, they don't have a personality.
Not everyone are cunts.
She's a singer. They have a little sing jam, don't they?
Yeah, he plays his
skills
flute.
and abilities rather than personality traits.
She's got more personality than him.
So talking of those pod people or whatever. Podlings. We get to see one of like the creepiest bits in any child's film. The essence draining. That bit was super creepy with that poor little dude who got his essence sucked out.
It was definitely the bit when it was already creepy, but then the bit where its eyes closed right at the end and it's just like gormed.
Yeah, like just like a weird little zombie guy. Poor little podling.
And then the new emperor drank it, buzzed off it for a bit, got really smooth skin, did a little dance, I think.
Yeah.
And then young again. That was good.
I imagine this is just you.
Yeah. And then it wore off.
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, what was the point? Is it...
Because they were draining Gelflings. That's why there's only like 2 of them left in the whole universe. And now they've run out of them because obviously they're greedy as fuck and don't know how to set up a fucking farming system.
Yeah.
Idiots. They've tried to move on to podlings, and obviously podlings are like yay big.
Yeah.
Like it's like me and you. You're not going to get much essence out of me.
The weird thing is, it seems like they've tried to weirdly force in another reason why they hate Gelflings, even though it sets out at the start and they say throughout, Gelflings are the ones that will destroy them. So I don't know why they need this extra bit, as in like, oh, we need to get them because they'll keep us young, when you've already got a reason to kill them. It just seemed it didn't match.
They don't want to necessarily kill them. Like the Skeksis are like terrified of fucking getting old and they want to stay young forever. So they're just like, fuck these podlings. Like, I've got 3 seconds of happiness right here, when if I have a Gelfling, I've got like many months.
Yeah.
3 seconds of happiness.
With a little podling. But, well, they kind of, at this point, get to the end, because we've mentioned that they rode those big things, and they go under the tunnels and they meet Chamberlain, don't they?
Fucking hate that cunt.
Yeah, because at this point, I didn't know if he was a proper turncoat or not. Or
he
if he
is
was tricking him.
he's a dirty turncoat.
No, but he's not, though, because he pretends to be, But then actually he is just a bad un through and through. He's like, no, I'm good.
Because they strip and
And
banish
then-
him, and then he hatches a plan to...
and then he is a sneaky little prick, isn't he?
Well, that was a bit... Yeah. Please make peace.
It's like when he's like, oh no, me friend.
Yeah.
And then like they're like, fuck off. You're a Skeksis. Get fucked. You greasy looking fucker. And then they leave. And then he's just like being that creepy guy. Like he's like some sort of predator. And not even in like a sexy way.
What?
Just like he wants to use them for like his benefit, and he knows that they're going to get murdered, but then he's just trying to. It's a bit like Ted Bundy.
Okay.
Bed Tundy.
Bed Bundy. And it just creeps me out. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm your friend. Like, let me take you to the castle, and like you can tell him that you're not here to like murder everyone." And they're like, "No." And he's like, "Oh no." And then you realize that he's just gonna try and tech them later to be like, "Oh, I found these guys for you. Like no one else could, and I've done it for you because you just kicked me out for being a fucking snake."
He's a snake, isn't he? So they try and suck Kira's essence. That kind of starts to work until she speaks to the animals.
Yeah, because Aughra's just like, "You've got the gift, fucking use it."
I don't even want to think about her.
When you said that, I thought, it's going to be like she's going to, like, in her head, commune with the animals or something like that. She just starts going, animals come. I was like, that's not a fucking gift. That's just shouting at animals.
Mate, if I could do that, I'd be fucking doing it every day. Like, every minute a day. I'd be getting kites to, like, come and... or buzzards to, like, fly me home from here.
So do you think you need some old one-eyed nip lady to remind you? That
Three-eyed.
Oh, yes.
One eyeball.
Yeah.
3 sockets,
2
one eye.
nipples.
Yeah, so if she's got 3 sockets, she's still only got 1 eye.
If you got 1 eyeball,
1 eye, then.
fuck off. And then, like, all animals, like, break out of the cages in this dungeon and, like, break her out. Pardon me.
Nice.
You're welcome. Then, like, fucking Jen is straddling the crystal.
Oh, yeah, because he jumped, didn't he? Like Cliffhanger. And then,
Like Cliffhanger.
like on Cliffhanger. And then the mystics turn up. And basically, it ends at this point. He shoves the little shard in. But then they merge, don't they?
One of the Skeksis stabs Kira as well. Like,
oh, yeah.
He's like, give it to us and we won't stab you. And then she chucks it anyway. And he proper full on stabs her. They don't hide it.
Shy away from that, do they? And then they kind of, the mystics and the Skeksis form to make these kind of ultimate beings. And I kind of switched off at this point, this last little bit. I can't remember what the message was. Was it just like, sorry?
It was.
Mate.
I wrote this down. Well, no, I didn't write down the message, but I wrote down essentially, it seems like this is now a very close parallel to what the baby boomers have done to us. They was like, yeah, we made a fucking mistake. We fucked it up. We chipped the ice and you've had to pay for it for all these years. We're kind of sorry. We're going to fuck off now.
It was before
you can fix it yourself, but we're not going to do anything.
And we're going to vote Brexit on the way out.
Exactly. Just fuck everyone. Get all the Gelflings killed, and then we're like, all right, you can remake the world in your own image.
Them Gelflings going to be inbred to fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They fucked everything. They are...
I did make a note. Crystal goes white, becomes the crystal of truth.
Okay, maybe.
So how are we feeling about the film? Because that's it at the end.
Yeah, pretty much. It does just end as well. It's not like you get to see them happily ever after. It's just suggested that they now get to not be murdered.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to go first on this one, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's.
Going to keep it quite short. I will definitely say that it is luxurious cheese. But weirdly, I don't want to watch it again anytime soon.
Okay.
Like, it was... a lot of the characters were really, like, ugly and horrible to look at. And I know that was the point. I was like, I don't really like looking at it. But no, it was an absolute kind of masterclass of what you can do with puppets. Jen's a bit wet. He wasn't like much of a hero, but yeah, I'd say Luxurious Cheese. First time watching it, thought it was good.
First time viewer, lifetime fan.
I thought I'd seen it before, but no, I must have got that mixed up with one of the others.
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, no, don't bring it back. Scary.
Katty, I've got a good idea of what yours is, but go on.
Oh, Teco Wild, yes. Obviously, Luxurious Cheese. Like you said, the puppets are fucking amazing. Like, it's great. The storyline's a little bit kind of meh. But I don't care. It's like a world of creatures, and as a kid and as an adult, I just love that. Like, imagine just wandering through there.
I liked the bit where her footprint, like, water came up from it.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was good. Sorry.
Fizzgig. Who doesn't want a dog with shark teeth?
Actually, you know, me a bit.
He's the hero that everyone needs.
Prefer Gizmo.
Fuck Gizmo.
I'm going to have a little furry dude.
At least Fizzgig can get wet and don't spawn fucking creepy little fuckwits.
Fizzgig should have died. It was only because Aughra stabbed him when he was nearly... He was like, hey, come here. And got him on the broom. But she was pretty much stabbing him. You know, a bit at the end where he's like on that... He fell in that fire. And she's like, come here then. He would have been dead.
He wouldn't have done. He would have leapt. Leapt for safety.
Even Kira forgot about him.
No, he would have leapt for safety and held on to something with his massive rows of shark teeth. Living the dream. So yeah, I fucking love it.
So Luxurious Cheese?
Luxurious Cheese.
Hobo?
I am also going to give it a cautious Luxurious Cheese. The puppy work is amazing, as everyone said. Like, the world is amazing. And purely for the fact that there's not much, if anything else out there that looks like this. It's got the same level of craft behind it. It's so incredible. But as you alluded to, Jen is a wet character. All the characters are nothing.
Aughra's probably the one.
Character work.
Aughra's the one with the most, I think. And maybe
she's barely in it.
Maybe the Skeksis.
Yeah, I really felt like watching this again recently with that opening. I kind of wanted more. It felt like they were going to set up the Skeksis to both be the bad guys, but also the good guys in a different way than they did. As in, I felt like I wanted more of what they were like, and it was just all pretty, very paper thin story work. So it's really you couldn't watch this again. You know, back to back. It's not like watching a really good drama way that I
wasn't it like written by Jim Henson?
Yeah,
well? So I was like, maybe just stick to
the guy who wrote Masters of the Universe.
Frank Oz, did he have a hand in it?
Right, it was David O. Frank Oz had the hand in directing.
Oh right, okay.
But David Odell was the writer, and then the story was by Jim Henson.
So what are you going for?
Luxurious Cheese.
So we're all going for Luxurious Cheese.
Yeah.
And that's it for...
But it's not the most clear cut.
No, definitely not. But that's it for Dark Crystal. See you soon.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, you pieces of fucking shit.